This one weight loss myth was destroying my life, and chances are it's destroying your life as well. I'm somebody who was physically obese for 20 plus years, and believe me, I tried every diet, every trick in the book. And there was one weight loss lie that I kept following over and over and over. It was so deceptive because it always works in the beginning, and it ended up destroying my metabolism and frustrating me, and chances are you're probably going down the same route. When I figured out that this was a complete lie, I was able to transform my health and lose 80 pounds of fat within 9 months. You can see on the screen here. I went from 34% body fat to single-digit body fat, 6% at my lowest. And the amazing thing about my transformation, I did this 17 years ago, and I've kept the weight off. I'll be sharing with you right here a valuable lesson I learned, the biggest fat loss lie in the world, and I don't want you to make the same mistake. Here's the lie. Calories in equals calories out. If only it was that simple, that you simply put your body in a calorie deficit and the weight will come off. Well, you know what? It does work in the beginning. And what ended up happening to me is that the weight loss started to slow down. So I thought, oh, I just need to cut my calories more or exercise more, create another deficit. And then that worked until you keep doing that. And I discovered that my metabolism and your metabolism will match the energy coming in. Meaning if you're chronically depriving yourself of calories to lose weight, your metabolism will match that energy and you'll end up wrecking your hormones and metabolism. This is exactly what happened to me. Now there's a better way to go about this, and I'll share with you some valuable insights in the next few minutes to save you 17 plus years of frustration. But I just want to paint the picture really clearly for you here. Calories matter, but they are not important. They're actually a distraction. If somebody's teaching you right now to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight, whether it's a doctor, dietitian, nutritionist, personal trainer, that's a huge red flag. Run away. They don't understand how your metabolism actually works. You see, the metabolism doesn't work in the way that we think it does. A lot of people follow this calories in versus calories out approach like I did because we're trying to lose weight in order to get healthy. But what I discovered is it actually works the complete opposite way, where we get healthy to lose weight. When we get healthy, the weight comes off as a side effect. When we get healthy, we actually are taking care of two primary things, which is inflammation and hormones, and I'll discuss how you could take care of that. You see, you don't have a weight problem. This is what I want to get across, and I've been teaching this to thousands of people all across the world in the last 17 years. Nobody has ever had a weight problem. You have a weight symptom. Your body has interference. You have too much inflammation. Your hormones are out of balance. That's the cause of the weight gain. Simply cutting calories just to lose weight tackles the symptom, does not ever get to the cause. There are numerous studies that back this up, and I put them all in my book, Metabolic Freedom. The Biggest Loser, for example. How many of you have watched or heard of that TV show, The Biggest Loser? Well, they have these morbidly obese contestants. They put on a calorie deficit, extreme exercise, cutting their calories, and what happened? They all lost weight. They lost a ton of weight. At the end of the season, they celebrated them in that final episode. But what we don't see is what happened after the show ended. 90% plus of the contestants gained all of their weight back after the show was over. And a portion of them gained even more weight back before they even started the show. The studies even show their hunger hormone, ghrelin, was through the roof, so they were hungrier. And their leptin hormone, which is their fat-burning hormone that tells you put down the fork, stop eating, plummeted. They slowed down their metabolism. They wrecked their hormones. You see, that's why there's never a Biggest Loser reunion show. Take, for example, 800 calories from processed carbohydrates, let's say Skittles, Snickers, soda, and then let's compare that to the same amount of calories, 800 calories from steak and eggs, which is protein and fat. Completely different metabolic response with the same amount of calories. And you're gonna hear the argument, it's all about the law of thermodynamics. Well, guess what? The human body is not a bank account. It's not a math equation. It's not a calculator. The human body is a very complex chemistry lab. We cannot fool the body by putting it into a calorie deficit. You know, when I was starting to lose weight, I was starting to host these seminars for the members of my gym. And I would host these seminars called The Science of Fat Loss. I thought it was so clever. I would teach my clients how to go into a calorie deficit. I would help them calculate their total daily energy expenditure. There are calculators out there that calculate that for you. And then we would input their food and we would put them in a calorie deficit. And the thought is, okay, once we equal 3,500 calories of a deficit, which let's say we cut for 500 calories every day until we equal that after a few days, that's about 1 pound of fat. You keep doing that until you get to your goal body weight. It doesn't work that way. It only works in the beginning, and it fails 99% of the time. You end up wrecking your hormones. As a matter of fact, in my brand new book, Metabolic Freedom, I show a study. They took 2 control groups. They controlled everything. The total amount of calories were exactly the same. Their environment was exactly the same. They were all overweight. The only thing they changed in one control group was that the participants in this study, they received what's called fecal microbial transplant, which repopulated their healthy gut bacteria. In that group that improved their gut bacteria, they started to lose weight versus the group that didn't. Same calories, everything was the same. You see, there are so many moving parts here. So this has been the biggest mistake I've made, and I apologize to all of the clients that I've worked with several years ago, and I've taught them just about calories in versus calories out. It's a huge distraction to what really matters, hormones and metabolism, in a second. But I just want to make the point, one more point here when it comes to calories in versus calories out. If you're a personal trainer, CrossFit coach, doctor, dietitian, nutritionist, or let's say TikTok gurus telling you it's all about calories, it's such an insult to the amazing way the body was created. It's such an insult to your actual metabolism and your hormones. It's equivalent to asking Warren Buffett, who we understand is one of the richest men in the world, hey Warren, how did you get so wealthy? Please show me the way. And Warren says, oh, it's simple. Just spend less than you earn. Okay, Warren, that doesn't give me the actual solution. It's the same thing with telling people just eat less and move more. I'm sick of it. It's time to move away from this old way of thinking. Let's talk about what I've learned in 17 plus years in the health space, a world-renowned fat loss expert. I do keynote presentations all across the world. I've interviewed over 900 doctors and scientists on my award-winning Metabolic Freedom podcast. This is how you actually lose weight. This is gonna save you 17 plus years of information and frustration. Hormones and metabolism. Okay, the only hormone in your body that signals fat storage is insulin. Insulin is what's called an energy sensor. When it senses a high amount of energy, like carbohydrates, it signals fat storage. The body has a really sophisticated, tightly controlled system in place to regulate blood sugar. As a matter of fact, the body is considering 1 teaspoon of sugar in the entire bloodstream an optimal state, which is only 80 milligrams per deciliter. If you test your fasting blood sugar, that's what it's giving you. Anything more, insulin is produced to clear that out of the bloodstream and go into your cells, your fat cells. And as you snack and graze and eat high carbohydrate meals throughout the day, like most people do, even if you're in a calorie deficit, you're spiking glucose and insulin, teaching your metabolism to be a sugar burner, which is a metabolic prison. So the first step is to go from burning sugar to burning fat. And we do that simply by slowly decreasing your carbohydrate intake. You want to take your total carbohydrates to under 50 grams total per day. Second step, you want to follow the 2-2-2 rule to incorporate healthy fats to teach the metabolism to burn fat instead of sugar. So here's the 2-2-2 rule. I've used this on thousands of students. It works like a charm. The first 2 is 2 tablespoons of avocado oil or olive oil. The second 2 is 2 tablespoons of coconut oil or MCT oil. And the third 2 is 2 tablespoons of butter or ghee. So as you lower your carbs, you hit that 2-2-2 rule. And the third thing here is to eliminate the snacking in between meals. Start with 3 meals a day. Now, as you do this, insulin is gonna drop in between those meals. As you eat more protein and fat, less carbs, insulin is gonna drop. You're gonna start to burn fat without having to rely on willpower or deprivation or weighing food or calculating food. This is metabolic freedom. Now, there's some other things you can do for your hormones and inflammation. Fasting is one of the best ways to balance your hormones and burn a ton of fat. If you're not practicing some form of time-restricted feeding, AKA intermittent fasting, you're missing out on a lot of fat loss. So I'll give you one schedule to follow here for fasting that works really well for fat loss. It's called an 18-6. Every day you want to follow this routine. Out of a 24-hour period, for 18 hours, you're fasted, meaning no food, just water, coffee, tea, electrolytes, no food for 18 hours. Then you have a 6-hour eating window where you have 2 to 3 meals, ideally protein and fat focused, lower carbs. So you have all of your calories within a 6-hour eating window. So that would look like 12 to 6 p.m. or so is your eating window, and then you're fasting outside of that. You could also change that for 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. eating window and fasting outside of that. It doesn't really matter. Just follow an 18-6. You're gonna burn a ton of fat. I wish somebody told me this information when I was yo-yo dieting, calorie counting, feeling deprived, and relying on willpower. It doesn't work, and I'm sure it's failed you time after time. I have a 30-day plan I put together in my brand new book, Metabolic Freedom, and I have an entire course built out on the metabolism. So you learn more about how keto could help you burn fat, fasting to melt stubborn belly fat, how the metabolism actually works, with some amazing interviews with Dr. Jason Fung, Dr. Daniel Pompa, Cynthia Thurlow, Megan Ramos. All of that is for free when you order Metabolic Freedom today. If you go to metabolicfreedombook.com, order the book, and you'll get the entire course and those interviews emailed to you right away. Share this with somebody you know who's frustrated with their weight loss, their yo-yo dieting. Share it with your coach or doctor who's telling you, hey, just cut calories. It's just a big disservice. Shame on them. And I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I hope you share it with everybody you know. And hey, if you love this video, speaking of fasting, I just released a video here on my YouTube channel on what happens inside of your body when you go without food for 3 days. It's absolutely incredible. Check out this clip, and I'll see you in that video. This is gonna shock you, but I'm gonna show you a timeline of exactly what happens inside of your body when you go 3 days without food. Gotta say, your doctor will never tell you this. And at the end of the video, I'll address what to consume during the fast, which liquids, supplements, who should not do this fast, how to work your way to this fast, and how to